this looks hard as fuck.
I want to see something when this shows us the map. All right, so the orbs are here. What's up here? This is the glass bottles, right? I'm assuming, and then the next one would be gems.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take the glass bottles with us when we go. Grab the orbs.
Okay, so who's here with me? All right, so we grab these. We grab the glass bottles, and let's go.
Okay.
Go with ecstasy, Carly?
Carly, go.
All right, so we're gonna switch those out. Grab orbs.
All right, you gotta grab orbs. Leave the gems. Oh, that's not good. You fall off, you get trapped back in the sun.
Can we throw it on top?
Oh, okay.
Wait. All right, good.
Shit. Oh.
Oh shit. It should spawn back.
They got one gem on here somewhere.
Wow, I'm sorry. I said.
We gotta grab. Yeah, there we go.
Oh. What the shit?
I don't know. All right, I'll just hold on to it. Oh wait.
Okay. Well, there's one more though.
Oh, there is. Damn.
It's gotta go down that aqueduct.
Can we put it on this one?
Yeah. And I'll see if I can hold on to this one.
Ready?
All right, go. Yep.
You got it, you got it, you got it!
Ah! I thought I almost had it!
Almost had it.
Oh wait, what's the flamingo?
Sorry. My controller is so glitched.
I'm gonna go get that last one.
I think they still have more on this one over here.
Can you guys bring over some glass bottles for us? And we'll bring over some, wait, you gotta wait for me so I can help you with the...
Oh. Jump on.
Oh shit.
Bitch, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, good thing they send you back to the center.
Did I just snatch that from you?
Oh no. Come on.
Oh, we literally brought every fucking gem for you.
Shit.
that all of them? Let's go.
I think so. Go. And then we could go with them to the gems.
Yep.
We gotta put all the gems on one carrot.
On one carriage?
Yeah.
I think we already did that though. Wait, Carly, where
We
you going?
already did it.
I started looking at the records.
Oh, there's
Couldn't
no
already
bottles
do
over
it.
here.
This is our first time playing it.
Oh damn, I thought we were done with our glass bottles.
Damn.
Shit.
Y'all are what are y'all? Alright, never mind. All the gems were right there. Had the 3 of them.
No, bottle fell off. Have that bottle? Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 over here.
I'm just waiting on you.
There's 3 in the cart. Oh my god, there's a fucking gem here. No, the
Oh
gem.
no, that's a gem.
Gem.
Sorry, I glitched.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Hi, Carly.
All we did was finish. We didn't do any of
We
the
didn't do any of
other
this
things.
shit.
No, we did the orbs first.
Oh yeah, we did. We did do orbs first.
Or
Wait,
not.
what?
Why not?
Oh, send the flamingos down each of the. Oh, you know why? Because of the flamingo.
Somebody put it down the aqueduct.
I remember.
Do
I
it.
remember you say no, the flamingo. I heard you say that.
Okay. All right, last one.
Okay, so put all the gems in one carriage. So bring
I
all the
had
gems
that
over
one.
there.
I don't know why y'all started
we
taking
we
them.
just we
Well,
just
you
said.
didn't because there was that
Rick,
gem over there on the
Rick
other
said we
side.
already did it. I'm like,
I thought me and her had it all in one catch, but I forgot that you guys have orbs. I mean gems over there too.
Yeah, but there was a gem over there when we went back, so it
yeah,
wouldn't.
there was
It
there
wouldn't
was
have
one
counted
there
anyway.
anyway. Alright. So, what are we focusing on?
Look,
4 gets messed up.
We're trying to do everything else. So orbs first.
well, we don't have to do orbs. Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Bullshit! I almost threw it in there.
But that's why I was asking. People started throwing stuff in. I think there's stuff on here that's got to come off. Can't tell. Yeah. Well, no, I could keep that on. Shit.
Ready?
Wait. Let me jump in here. Okay, go.
Another one up here. bottles should keep out, falling over into the water. I'll hold this one.
Oh damn, you guys gotta drive that all the way around again because you got an orb in the front.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what's up with it?
Oh wait, we have bottles in there? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you got them all. Okay.
Okay, that's all of it.
Alright, I'll deliver the bottles.
Mm.
Ah.
Mhm. I can't tell what the hell all this is. Is it all good or is it bottles? No. What are you doing? They want that challenge.
Oh no!
What challenge?
Probably just like threw 2 jewels down the aqueduct.
Oh.
That's okay though, they spawn back.
Oh, I thought I was supposed to.
What do you mean they spawn back? They're
Oh
gone. They're
no,
delivered.
shit. Yeah, they got delivered. Damn. Okay, so we
You
can't
got,
do that one. Alright, I got you.
yeah.
I dropped
I'm sorry.
one.
I thought
I
I was
dropped the
supposed to
gem.
now.
No, don't be sorry.
I gotta go back.
You could, I don't know if we could get pro time, but
Ooh. Shit. They want
man,
a bottle.
No.
man, how are we supposed to get a pro time on this, bro? I feel like we were moving fucking smooth.
Fuck, one of the bottles fell.
I'm just a little too.
Okay.
That's a
Jesus.
hand, you little fat piece of corn.
There's one more bottle.
Ah, shit. Looks like the door was about to go off.
He tried leaving my ass. we got a way better time this time. I think we could do it. Well, we can stop right there though. Ugh.
Ooh,
And then when we come back, we'll be good. Come back well rested. We'll slide into DMs again and figure out what other day.
It's good. Level 7 fart, baby.
Yo, we're only 5 away from level 8
Yeah.
fart, yo. Damn, I'm not gonna lie though, that 5-minute pro time seems kind of, I don't
That's
know.
intense. Like, you cannot let anything fall.
I feel like you have to throw also.
Yeah.
definitely.
Because I feel like we were hustling.
We were, man, we were, but then we had to make trips back because of like, you know, like shit falling off and stuff.
Imagine if on that one there was no falling off. Because, like, that shit was just throwing me off. I was, like, firmly standing on it. It's like,
Uh,
nah,
They got,
you
they
actually
have
are going
other
on the river.
they
that
have
aren't
what?
trains. Some other ones on there where you have to go through all the doors that are like portals.
Wait,
Instead,
like, can we still get the trophy if we make the 2-player ones like 1-player things?
oh yeah, you can
Oh, if
get.
you do it with a
It don't
system.
it don't cancel any of the assists. You
Oh,
Really?
can
well,
use
what
any
the
of them.
fuck?
I like the chaos of like the 2-player thing, like the two man
Yeah.
like workout thing, but like for some levels, like I feel like I will turn it off just so that we could like get the stars and shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, but I know Carly gotta let the doggos out and stuff, and I'm sure you guys had enough too. So
Sick of your
I
ass.
appreciate you guys. I love you guys,
Thanks for
and
playing.
Thank you.
no, thank you guys for giving me your time. I really appreciate it. And also, Carly, Shredder's Revenge. We got to talk about that too.
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun.
Who were you playing with?
Just like none of your business.
Oh shit! Okay. No, I thought it was like somebody from the community so that like we could ask them to play with us and whatnot. But all right,
None of your business.
yo,
Sheesh.
she told me straight out. All right.
She said that is not privileged information for you to be having at this time.
Like we were having a cute little video game date. We played
That's
that and
crazy. And don't tell me I helped pick a dress for another fucking man.
You did. You did.
That's crazy. Anyways, you guys are amazing. I'm gonna still stream, but I don't know. I'm gonna switch a game though.
All right, y'all.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
I
Bye, guys. Oh damn! I thought you were gonna do the Hey, that's the homie Kitty Raw. I'm supposed to do a co-stream with her soon. Yo, Carly, that is crazy, Carly. All you see is oh man. Oh fucking! I just saw the damn daily chatter in the Discord, man. I hate you guys. All right. I got the plat to this, by the way. I don't know if if whoever was like tuning in before. I mean, sorry. I don't know why I'm starting the game. We clean. Why am I starting the game? Okay, we cleaned up the trophies for this. We got the plat. That's one game out of the books. Actually, I could delete this game now. X, Carly, Candy, thank you guys again. I can't thank you enough. Nah, this is going too far, guys. What is nah, hold on a second. I just saw the fucking Discord daily chatter. Y'all made a new channel called Rick Notes? Are you serious? Are you serious? Nah, this is violation, yo. Not this fucking asshole. You see this asshole right here, yo? Nah, this is crazy. This whole thing is fucking wild. Nah. Yo. Yo, I really hate y'all, man. Nah, this shit is yo, this shit is crazy. Not not this other asshole right here too, bro. Nah, this is sick. This is sick. This is fucking sick. This is sick. Nah, man, this is sick. What is this?
Bad boy.
Oh, I thought it was a Bad Boys video game. I was about to say, what the fuck? Yo, Deadpool and Wolverine are in the item shop? Hold on a second. New sins. I mean, new skins. Yo, this is crazy. Nah, bro. Yo, that skin is fire, bro. Oh, this skin is fire. Oh wait, is the Deadpool like that too? Oh man, this skin is. Oh, and he's got the three. He's got Wolverine's claws on his chest. Oh nah, this skin is heat, bro. Nah, but that Wolverine one though. Nah, that Wolverine one is heat. This is the new Adidas collab. Oh, who's this? Yo, you seen that? You seen the Deadpool Wolverine one, bro? That, yo, this is heat, bro. This is some heat. This is heat. Yo, her arms are brolic. Who is this? Yo, you see her arms? Brolic ass arms? That's muscle mommy right there. I don't know if it's not so much Dami mommy, it's more so muscle mommy though. It's definitely muscle mommy energy. But nah, man, that Wolverine skin is heat, bro. And I'm so glad it's the fucking yellow one, bro. Nah, the Deadpool one is sick too, though. This joint though, bro. And he's got Deadpool's sword, like the slash from his sword across his chest, and Deadpool has Wolverine's claws across his chest. That's this fire. Where's his claws? Nah, Wolverine has to have fucking Piggy Smalls in his bag, the yellow one though. Hmm. Yo, anybody trying to fort Nissy? Yeah, the reason why I love that they had this one steal though is because the first Wolverine skin was from the Marvel Battle Pass, and I wasn't playing the game when that Marvel Battle Pass came out. So I'm glad they brought this back, bro. Yeah, man, I'm so upset I didn't play that event, bro. But then again, like I'm not really mad because Zero Build hadn't come out yet, so like I'm just like, you know, whatever. I gotta do more of the Jack Sparrow stuff too. Mm. Oh, is this the Cybertruck one? No way. Oh. All right. I don't know what to play. It's only 12. Should I play more Crash? Toys for Bob. Oh, I was asking if anybody wanted to play Fortnite, but no one answered. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just play Crash. Oh. Nah, y'all really went, yeah, y'all Yo, Jax.
Jax is a
yeah.
monster.
Nah,
And
man.
she's toxic.
Nah, y'all really went in on me in that daily chatter, bro. What is this? Rick's notes? Fucking nah, man. Y'all went in, man. Nah, ain't no fucking way, bro. Why? I just hopped in to help the people is wild. That is. Yo, you guys are down for some Fortnite? Whoever wants to play? I'm not gonna stay on for long because my nephew's birthday is, his birthday isn't tomorrow, but his birthday party is tomorrow. So you got yours updating? All right, good, Seal. I'm still looking at this, man. I can't believe this, Jax.
She's slurping on my nuts. She's slurping on my nuts. She's slurping on my nuts. Yummy.
I'm proud of you, Jax. Yeah, I know I'm Allie and Candy helped me test. Wait, Candy helped you test it while she was playing with me? That is top 5 anime betrayal right there. Oh, I was about to say definitely someone else. Nah, Candy. Let me let me look at this damn channel. Let me look at this damn fucking channel right now. Hold on a second. Wait, I can't post anything. Not Allie.
Mind your business.
Oh, that's the game we're fucking. I'm not having a good day at all. First, this morning, I'm over here helping Carly pick out a dress for another man. That was an L right there. And now I was out here just sharing my thoughts. I'm out here sharing my thoughts on Instagram. And now you guys are yo, not Boney being the fucking first one to type in that channel too, bro. Yo, not Allie already fucking creating. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, let me fucking find one of you guys using fucking notes too, bro. What kind of dress? No, it was like a fire ass like orange sundress. Nah, Bula, bro. You're supposed to be Team Rick, Bula, and that's crazy. That's crazy, man. That is, Yo, this is wild. All right, I think I'm about to I'm about to
I
fucking.
told you I was minding my business till you said that it was crazy that I was keck.
No, I said it was crazy. What I said what I didn't say. I didn't say you minding your business was crazy. I said the GIF. I meant to say like the GIF was crazy because you see Hasbullah going like with his eyes like. It's hard out here, man. It's hard out here, bro. Yo, I fucking hate y'all, man.
Stop making it hard.
Brother, what's that?
We got him.
Fucking, yo, the gifts. Yo, the gifts. The fucking gifts. Yeah, you assholes are fucking putting. Has me fucking. That Robin Williams, God bless you one, man. Strong teamwork. Okay. Hey, yo, Shin. Shin, you trying to play some Fortnite? Me signing up for daily updates to that channel. You don't even need to go into that channel though. Just go. Apparently, I don't know why, but for some reason, whenever I drop a note on IG, it pushes that post like straight on top for everyone to see. I don't know why IG does that. Like I thought like I didn't think IG was gonna like out me like that, bro. Don't worry, I'm working on linking your notes directly to the Discord. Oh my god. No. Oh my. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Oh my god. Yo. Oh my god. That is true though. That is true. It is fun when people get to bring them to chair. I still stand by all my notes. There's not a single fucking note. All right, there's not a single fucking note that I post that y'all be like, nah, he's wrong. Because I'm not wrong. Okay. Yeah, have you checked 20?
We got him.
Have you seen that video though?
Are you okay?
Have you seen that video though? Have you seen that video though? Oh, I'm good. I am so good right now, bro. I just need to know. I just need to know if y'all see. I just need to know if y'all seen that fucking video. Yo. Oh my god. Damn. You know what? I stand by my notes. Not a single note is incorrect. All right? I stand by my notes. My notes are going to be the new like this is my nickname in college. Watch. You don't even gotta look for them though, because apparently IG just throws it to the fucking top. Your IG really be like, yo, look at what Rick just fucking said. IG's petty as fuck, bro. IG ain't shit. Oh shit, we all Adidas. We about to be Adidas out. I don't think I have the Adidas skin though. Oh damn, I didn't have my creator code up. That's crazy. And I just bought the fucking Deadpool thing. No. I don't blame IG for my thoughts. I blame IG for putting my thoughts in the forefront. Like, yo, like this is who you're friends with type shit. Like IG's like, yo, this motherfucker just said that, bro. Cause I know you left the note on. Let me see the post. Drop the link in chat. Oh yeah, we could. Yeah, we
What
could
did
run.
he say?
We could run in VC. You just sent it to me on IG.
Catfish BOT on a Red Lobster cheddar bay
Nah. This cafe, this one, I said my notes out loud in person, like on stream, the catfish BLT, because I can't eat catfish. I can't have fish, so I know I definitely didn't write a note on this one. Yo, y'all want to see notes, man? Damn, if I show you, yo, I wish I could show you me and Candy's DMs, bro. Cause the wild ass note that she sent me from this one guy that's doing deadlifts. I sent Candy this fucking video. I sent Candy this fucking video, right? No. I'm not putting you on blast. I'm not putting you on blast. Because I'm not showing them. I'm not showing them what you said. I'm just showing them the video. So I sent Candy this video, right? Bro. If she would have just fucking left a note, bro. If she would have left a note, man. Bro. Yo, Lefty, just mind your business. Just mind your business, Lefty. Damn, they make you get one of each. What color should I go for, chat? The black and yellow? Should I go blue and white? How come I can't see them with why can't I see them with their like mask on? I only see it here. This isn't really Giants color. I mean, it is kind of Giants colors. All right, we'll go black and yellow. I gifted my nephew Jaden the red one yesterday. Wait, Hansbula, you have them all? How many do you have, Hansbula? The Adidas ones. You have all the Adidas ones? Now you know who I'm gonna be. I think I'm gonna be Deadpool. I love that Wolverine. Actually, no. I'll stick with Wolverine. All right, let me go and let me get into VC with y'all. Jax, that is devious doings, Jax. Rick's notes. That is crazy.
What's up, Rick?
What's up,
Hello?
Flash? Bula bula.
Bula bula.
Aló, bula bula.
What's crazy is that you didn't even say hi to Shin. That's mean.
I said hi to Shin when he was in chat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In chat, but not in VC. Crazy.
Yeah, because I didn't hear
Mm,
Shin say hi to me. Oh, why is that though?
spiritually, he said hi.
I'm telling you right now, Shin. I can't see. I'm about to pull a Rick and say, just say you hate me. I mean, it's getting there, Shin, bro. It's getting there. I only asked for one thing for my birthday, bro. Literally, just for one thing for my birthday. Couldn't give me that.
Just to hear his voice. That's it.
Couldn't give me
That's
that,
what you want for
Shin.
your birthday. Wow. For my birthday, he did.
Birthday in February.
Sorry. Boom, 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 boom.
Jax, how you feeling today? How's mom feeling today?
Man.
Your head. Wait, head is kicking your ass. Who's giving you head right now, Jax?
Oh. I want some head.
Handling her own stuff for yo, I love that. I love that. Has mom gone and get herself checked out and stuff?
All right.
Hey, let's fucking go.
Where should we all head to? Where shall we all head?
We could go home. We could go home.
Okay. Go.
Thank you for changing the game, Jax.
Maybe too high.
Why can't I switch to my guns?
Uh-oh.
Killed one.
Nice. Wait, what do you mean you can't switch?
Like I can't.
I'm coming to you.
Like my triggers aren't working. I can't even like move, like hit my claws. My claws won't even.
What in the world?
One.
The fuck?
Like, really? Is it?
Yeah, like if I try to use my triggers to like switch weapons or even to hit like like with my pickaxe, I can't even.
Damn. Can here? Can you try shooting?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Or
That's what
can
I'm.
you even?
That's what I mean. Shooting it like it would be R2 on the triggers, but
That's weird. Why won't it? Maybe I don't know, to be honest. Never. I've only dealt with it once, but I had to like. I would have to like kill myself in the game.
Yeah.
That's
all
how
right.
it worked
So
for
how
me.
do I kill myself?
There's C. Oh, you can't pick up shit. That's not gonna work because it's can't pick up anything. I'm trying to think. Can't run you over.
I just gotta keep jumping off this.
I think you have to like full.
Wait, what do you mean you just did the other part too? What are you talking about, Jax? The straight to Discord shit that you were talking about? Stream info? Oh fuck, what did you do? Oh, the next one should kill me.
And then we got and then you have to like fully die, I think. Ride the ship. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I wonder. Let me just. Let me see how this works.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jax.
Oh shit, that's water.
Nah, I thought like she updated the stream info into like, yo, everybody head to Discord to Rick's notes. I wouldn't put it past her, bro.
I'm still learning about these notes thing.
Flash, hey, I'm just need to mind your business.
What?
Nah, bro. I don't know if you guys can see this. I have a new follower. What the fuck? New follower, Steel Revolution, bro. Steel, you're fucking sick, bro.
That's crazy.
Steel, you're fucking sick, bro. Steel's like, yo, let me look at these fucking notes too, bro. Wait. He also contributed to the cause already? He just followed me. Nah, this is wild, bro.
See if that worked.
Yes, that worked. Oh shit, what the
Okay.
hell? Whoa, why is there a boat?
Here, wait, Rick, come here. I have your crown.
Wait, what?
I have your crown.
Oh shit, I had a crown?
Yeah, you got a crown. Oh, thanks, Shin.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. I don't know why I broke that. Whoa.
Flash, Shin, and Rick, I got cheese.
You got shiz? Okay.
Yes, I got cheese.
Jeez.
Yes.
And we call it shit, and we call it shiz because it's shin jizz.
Hey, that's crazy.
I let him watch my kids.
Oh wait, everybody gather up.
Peaceful.
Everyone gathered up. No.
Oh, is it driving laser? Oh boy. Yo, Ali, this Wolverine skin is fire.
I didn't know they were gonna release it today. I thought it was gonna be tomorrow.
Well, I mean, the movie released today, so it makes sense.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. I forgot. I need to go make plans. I need to go make plans with the friend.
That was just me.
Oh, okay.
No, but this one is more. It's not from X-Men animated. This is from Wolverine and Deadpool. It just came out because of the movie.
There's fists up here.
There's a flint knocker here. Whee! The fuck? I heard a car.
There's a Nuka-Cola here if anyone wants it.
I could carry it. Oh,
What the hell was that? What are you shooting?
The flint.
Oh,
flint knocks.
the flint shoots you up if you shoot it down the ground?
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Normally they updated it to the point where you don't take damage.
Mm. Why did I get off?
You just left.
Oh. I'll go back here and get some. Grab those. Now we got a boss car.
You just need a pitch in the front.
Oh yeah, and then. Oh. People are here. I'm going below.
He was by himself?
I guess so. His teammates might be coming. Oh, yep, right here, in front of me. Yep. Who's this?
Oh, right
I think
there?
I lost my steps.
Oh, you railed him.
Carly, no, thank you, Carly, for playing. Thank you for the time. Wait, Alien or Aliens? Which one did you see? I hear gunfire here by the.
Okay.
What is this?
Oh, we
the-
are. Oh, we got fire here too.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm coming to you guys.
Nice.
Oh, the first
Here we are.
Alien. The first Alien was all right. Aliens was great though. Aliens was amazing. Aliens with an S.
Ooh, wait, crossbow?
I'm going over there where I was.
Okay. I'll try to get over
shit,
there.
there's 3. Is that? Are those medallions? 3 medallions?
Most likely.
Yeah, those are medallions. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Wait, but how are all 3 of them here together?
They probably each have
Probably a
one.
whole squad, yeah.
He is not dead? How?
Oh shit, we got 2 down. Let's go.
We got him, we got him, we got him.
I caught them while they were all shizzing each other. So
Nice.
much chiz.
Oh yeah.
Damn. I'm gonna snag this one. Whoops. This one. Nope. This one. Nope. That one.
Oh shit, wait.
I dropped. Thought I. Ooh, Bula.
Ooh, which one
There's
is that
another
one?
medallion. This is that's the shield one.
You want it, Bula Bula?
Guns. No.
Yo, look at all the.
gun,
Oh, this is a shotgun.
Damn. Oh, give me this Magneto.
Wait, so they were running around with the medallions, but not with the cars?
I guess they didn't want the cars.
That gives you like 75% shield. Bula Bula.
Oh,
I
Shin, do you
know.
need I thought I had medkits.
I got 3 medkits on me. Here, Shin. Oh, we gotta run.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a car right here in front of me. We're going to the train station. They're in the train station. Now they're going to the back of the buildings and over here. Breeby was good. All right, now they're leaving again. Going your way. They're right here.
Who knows? Let me hear.
I killed one of them.
Right back.
There was one more, I think.
He's right here on me.
Two. Nice.
Good shit.
There's a sniper here.
Noise. Flash.
Oh, I got a legendary one.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Nothing, just chilling. How about you? We're chilling too. We're big chilling right now. We're playing. We just started at Fort Nussy. This is our first match.
Wait, I'm going the wrong way.
I got 2 cars here, but they're abandoned. Just in case we need a ride.
And you got a visual. Oh no, that's the what do you call it, Shin? The bus.
Bus. Not a boss, a bus.
Yeah.
Boss, the boss bus.
No, just the car.
Oh,
The 3v4.
oh shit! Oh, they're right there. They're right there, Flash, in front of you,
Oh, I see him.
up by the hill.
Mm-hmm.
That's them right there, up there. Oh shit!
Oh, that was the bot I hit.
I'm getting hit by someone with
Hannah for 145.
Magneto. I'm healing.
They're healing 2 in the bush.
Oh, he ran. He ran.
Coming.
Killed his bot.
Nice. Right here.
There's still someone in there or what?
I'm running in there.
If
I die, I die. It's hurt. Oh, he just ran up. Anybody got eyes on him?
Nope.
Oh, he's right here behind the rock.
Away.
Right here where I'm at.
Got you.
Oof, I gotta
Oh, yeah.
heal. Shin, wait.
There's a shield power right there.
Yeah, I could use those shields.
Make sure you're reloaded.
Mm-hmm.
I got no long distance weapons, so if you see them, I'm pushing.
Okay.
Don't push too hard.
No, because then I'm gonna poop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Push like a baby.
Like a baby.
Yes.
Unlikely.
Well, here's my car.
Ain't no way we can't see them. We're all separated, bro. Oh shit!
Oh, shooting.
Shin.
That's Shin.
On Shin. On me.
He's coming to my side. Going in the car.
He's in
He's
the car.
Someone else is
across.
right next to me.
Behind the tree.
Blew up the
Nice.
car.
Got her.
I'm chasing him. I'm on him. He's in the storm.
He's dead. He's gotta be dead.
Yeah, we got him.
Yeah. Oh,
You're a 5 today. Let's fucking go, Breeby. Romulus looks good, so I'm watching the first 2 to prep ever. If you're gonna watch Romulus too, you have to watch, what's the other one called? There's Aliens. What's that other one?
I know.
Morpheus? No, not Morpheus. Fuck.
What is it called? Ew. What is it called?
Hold on. There's another one, Ali, that you have to watch. Covenant and wait, there's another one. Wait, hold on. What's this other one?
So there's Aliens, Aliens Covenant, Aliens 3, Aliens Resurrection.
Aliens Resurrection. No, but there's another one from the Aliens franchise that's not called Aliens though. It's called some Prometheus, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Prometheus. Yeah, Prometheus.
Are you dragging your butt on the carpet? Oh my God, Zelda.
Gotta wipe somehow.
Yo, Rat Queen, what's up?
Ooh, shit, devil.
That Romulus trailer got you fucked?
Romulus looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Like, to be honest, I'm not a big Aliens fan, but that one kind of made me want to.
Wait, you didn't like Aliens, like the Aliens movie?
No, they weren't. They just weren't my thing, to be honest.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
But after seeing Romulus, I'm like, ooh, I might just watch. All
Wait,
the
why
other
did I get
Aliens.
kicked? Did we all get kicked?
No.
I don't think so.
I'm back at the lobby.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I got kicked. I'm back in the lobby. I just
Oh.
readied up.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing research to upgrade your PC. Wait, you're looking to build it yourself, or you want to buy a pre-built? Romulus is the only reason I'm watching Aliens movie right now. That's fair.
Romulus comes out when? Or is it already out?
No, it doesn't. It comes out next month, I think.
Oh shoot, really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh yeah, August 16th.
Oh yeah, it definitely comes out next month because we were gonna watch it in Chicago. All of us we're gonna go together to watch it in Chicago.
Nice. My phone's about to die, which is also nice.
Uh-oh. Hi, Bree.
Hey boy.
Oh, gotcha. So I don't know why I was under the impression that you were gonna like rebuild a new PC. You're just gonna upgrade it. Oh. Man, that's a wild fuck up, but hey, at least it's still running. Shit. Yo, y'all see Piggy Smalls behind Wolverine's back, man? Just vibing.
It's okay.
What about Piggy Smalls?
He's just vibing in Wolverine's back, bro.
As he should.
As Piggy Smalls should.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Shin passed me. Shin's about to hit 200.
Yeah.
Shit, Shin's been playing.
Oh, he's been cheating on all of us.
Right.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
After we named the bottle after him, bro.
Right, exactly.
Yo, Steel, don't think I forgot about you, bro. Let me know when your update's finished. I got somebody under me.
Oh?
Yeah, but not in the good way.
Damn.
Got him.
I got one in here in the car dealership.
You never told me you wanted to watch Romulus with me, Allie? I mean, it isn't so far-fetched though. Wolverine knows how to use a gun. He used to be a soldier in World War II. Remember, Wolverine has been
many things.
Wolverine has been alive for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, shit. You could have shared an experience with Deadpool Wolverine, but you didn't.
Could've, could've, would've, but didn't.
You heard Bula. She ain't stutter. Oh, there's so much. Oh my God. So much firing going on over here.
Oh. A lot of action.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. They almost ran me over.
Got him.
Get him, Shin.
Got him.
Nice. Anybody need this?
Mm-mm.
No,
Need big
thank you.
pots.
I need pot in general.
You're taking your ass to
Right.
sleep, Allie. It's only like 8 o'clock.
Anyone else need pot? Oh, shit. Sorry. Sorry,
You're such a vieja,
Or
bro.
Bula. Whoever needs it.
Needs what?
I hear another car. Shields.
Yeah, right here.
What the fuck? Where'd he go?
Went over here. Probably on rooftop.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow you're going to the playa. That's right. Oh, I see people. Or is that no? That's just the. Who is that? Oh, that's the battle bus.
The battle bus.
Yeah, it's just a battle bus off.
I got someone over here. Yep. I'm trying.
Rick.
What? Come on, bring the battle bus.
Oh.
Hey, Shin's all good. He on him. Oh, more feet, more feet. No Shin.
You know what, let me go ahead and heal this bus real quick.
This way.
Maybe wait.
Aw, damn, Steel, that sucks. Try to like completely uninstall it and reinstall it. Oh no, this is out of the circle. Never mind.
Oh.
Oh, Shin, drive slow like we're like you're an NPC, and I'll follow you right behind you. Like NPCs do. Hold on, and we gotta wait for Bula Bula. Okay, so we're NPCs now.
Got people right here.
Where?
Right there.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay, we're NPCs. Shh. Claro.
Oh, come on.
See them there.
Oh, we could light their asses up. Like that, you like that? Yeah, 50. Yeah, I'll get me and Wu-Tang Clan.
25.
Going in, I'm
I'm
going
getting
in.
lasered.
Over here. I can hit him. Oh, okay, just got him. Back here.
Who's shooting at us? Is it from over there? Yeah, straight ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right here. I keep on hitting the fucking guys.
There we go.
Whee!
I thought I just saw cactus here before, but yeah.
They probably took it.
There's one over here.
I do need the big pot though.
Magneto
What's
gloves.
that? Oh, whoops! I did not mean to shoot.
We got a
Nothing enforced now.
we got a boss. I'm guessing a medallion. South southwest.
Got boss.
Boss.
A boss.
Ooh, I will take this.
Now I just need fists, and that'll be my sniper for now.
Oh, the circle's all the way the other side.
Mhm.
Let's see, what does this guy do give me? Mr. Captain Barbosa. People fighting at the Metrodome. Oh, there's a lot of people at the Metrodome. Oh shit, they have
We
Artemis.
have Artemis, yeah.
Yeah, what?
They
Artemis.
have Artemis in the Metrodome.
Oh.
He's gonna be an issue.
Oh, that card's about to.
We
I
got
couldn't
another
hit it.
one.
Let's see if I can stop it.
There's a boss here.
Behind us.
Oh, they dipped.
Mm-hmm. I can hit the gas station.
Got him.
they're up there now.
Mm-hmm.
Going on top of the hill.
Oh my god.
Oh. Nice. Nice.
Oh, it's right here on me. The rooftop. Got him? Good shit.
Nice.
Shin.
Yeah, medallion's coming. Bosses. Over here.
I saw them for like a split second.
I'm going that way. I don't remember down to our right.
There's also a car behind us.
Wow.
It's about to blow up. Healer, we got you covered. Blow up that whole gas station, bro. Boss car right here in front of us.
Yep. Oh shit. Ow.
Boss car is all the way up there. Just keep a heads out.
Another car's coming. Oh wait, no, it's the fucking. Never mind.
I wanted
There's
to.
still someone up there.
Yeah, I know. There's 2 boss cars up there. Oh shit! Sorry.
Bless.
I see.
Okay.
Bless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boom ball.
I'm guessing Shin got him. Yeah.
Still no. Oh, I was about to say, still no fixes.
If you stand by the fire, you heal. Ow!
Sorry. Jumping on this. I'm going up on this hill. Oh no! Wait, there's both cars
I
are
see
there.
them. Oh wait, no. Oops. I see them.
Oh shit! We probably got them.
There's one sniper on foot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that motherfucker has some good aim. Yeah, someone's roof over here. Oh, they got Artemis too, I think.
Oh, behind us. On top of the hill.
$62. I got the sniper for 62.
Oh, they're all
Shit.
up here. Oh, fuck, man.
They popped
They are
my
all up
shit.
there.
Yep. Damn.
They're trying to take out our shields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're coming this way.
I see them. One right there.
They're all jumping. They're all in the sky as well. They all went this way.
In for 125. Oh shit. Thank you.
Getting shot.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They're still behind this rock.
I see.
Flash!
No! They're pushing.
No! Shit, what did I get hit with?
The fist. He fisted you.
Oh no. They're behind this rock.
I like that skin, Shin.
It's a good shit. Yeah, it's a good shin. It's a good skin. But you got some cake.
Alright, we're gonna win because Spooky Smalls is vibing right now behind Zula.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming.
They see you.
To your left.
Oh, they're all over here as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, hi. Let them fight each other. Let them fight each other. We need to heal.
Shin, no way.
Yeah, good try, Shin.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck is Deadpool in there?
I mean, no. I mean, what time is it? It's what? It's probably gonna be my last one.
Okay.
Got a birthday party tomorrow.
Yeah. Is there a car outside?
Not fucking Notorious sending me a snap of his nalgas, bro.
As he should, though.
Well, now when he's drunk, he's wild when he's drunk, bro.
Just full shaft. So you're like a poo snap.
fucking hairy ass, bro.
Yo. Got him like a poo snap.
Hey, yo.
Mm-hmm. And the poo snap.
Wait, what the fuck? Who's hugging me?
I know, I saw that.
Damn. Where's Artemis at? Olympus?
She's in Mount, yeah.
Oh, we about to
Oh
fuck
my god,
that
a
place up.
boss.
About to fuck that place
Yeah,
up.
and she got a sniper.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
She got a sniper.
My nipples are hard as diamonds.
What's goody, Ray?
These nuts.
Died.
I fucking hate it here, bro. Oh my god. I fucking hated it. You know it's funny too. As soon as he did these nuts, all you hear is fucking Ansbulag.
No shit. Oh,
What, I can't giggle?
I was about to say shit. I was like, no.
Wait, what are you trying to do? Buy the sniper?
Yeah, you shouldn't have bought it for me.
Oh no, but I know how.
Oh, so romantic.
I know shit and I got that love
That's
connection.
crazy.
I un pistol aquí for somebody. Pew pew. Yo, Jax, he doesn't need to know about the new channel, Jax. Oh, don't be like this, Jax.
Right here.
He don't even follow me on Instagram. Let me be proud of my work, Rick. All right, go ahead, Queen. do you?
Oh,
Bombs.
bombs. Bomb.com/ed. all rounder.
Magneto gloves if anyone wants.
No, not yet. What I need is shield. I need shields.
What do you mean? What do you mean thirstiness? There's nothing thirsty about the notes. Nah, you good? Keep hydrating though? That's fucking crazy. No. It's-
Open up, you bastard.
Oh wait, Bula, wait, where is it? It's over here, Bula. Come here. That's a pump shotgun. Bula, this.
What?
And the tank's
No.
here.
Nah, I'm not going there. Go ahead.
Shin, I just gotta say, your skin got a fat fucking ass.
Of course.
I just gotta. I'm sorry, Shin.
I don't know, Craig. If we're talking like body proportionate ass, bro, like Poison Ivy in this game, they made it so big for no reason, bro. Oh, somebody is booting. Rebooting.
Where?
Where me and Bula are.
We are nowhere near you.
Over here.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are waiting for it.
He's up there,
Yeah, this
right
way.
there. He just, yeah, they just jumped in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
He's on top, Bulo. Right there in the tower.
We will be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Got him for 95.
Nice.
They're running to the ship. They're in the boat now.
They're on the roof.
Oh my god, I'm fucking. Oh shit. I did not mean to do that.
I got footsteps here.
Alright.
Oh, they're on the island.
Alright, we're coming to you guys.
You've been saying that for like the past 5 minutes.
You know what?
Right there. Look behind the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, Shin. What the?
Oh shit. Oh, Bula, me pegaron. Ah, no.
Let's look out, let's look out.
Are they in the shit? Where are they? Where are they?
In a car.
That's us.
No, I know, but they're on the car as well.
Oh, they're right here.
Oh, behind me.
Nice. Where are you over?
Oh.
Oh, right here.
Got him.
Jax, turn it up.
Please give me. Okay, give me that kit. Something I don't need.
Jax. Jax. For 5 minutes, can you just please keep it down, Jax? Please keep it down.
Good night, Jax. I love you, sis.
Night, Jax.
No.
Yo, update me on Maz. Right here, guys. There's a cart. Update me
Oh,
on
thought I
Mom's doctor appointment. Where did he go?
He's over here somewhere. They went this way.
There's a lot going on over there in Metro.
Yeah. They're all going that way.
Shin and Flash, come here to these trees right here. Oh, there's a guy right here in front of us.
2 more.
What the hell is hitting her?
2 grenades. Back here.
No, I saw someone throw a grenade.
Oh.
They're coming back.
They are.
We got a car here. Well, I do. Yeah, they're dipping that way.
So many cars.
There's one car back here.
Any visual.
It's one person.
Hit it for 74. Oh, he did. The car blew up.
How long does it take for these cactus to grow back?
I don't know.
Takes like a
Couple seconds.
I don't know.
probably.
I don't know how long.
We're running right into a boss.
Medallion.
Boss.
Artemis didn't go far enough.
Oh, right there,
Oh,
right there in
right
front of you.
$74.
Nice.
One's over here. He jumped over here somewhere.
Need.
On top.
Oh!
Oh shit.
He's still up here.
Oh.
They dipped.
Right, me and you are both low on health.
I know.
He went this way.
There's medikits where I dropped them.
He's up here. Jump. Still up there.
Flash. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Throw it in front of you.
Go. Oh. Got it.
They're rezzing.
Watch out with the island, guys.
I'm gonna park it right here.
I fucking lost more health.
They did res behind us, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Full res.
All right. Medallions went up to the island.
Yeah. They're fighting each other though.
I'm going towards the next circle.
Got a person in front of me. Got feet. Store. Store just open. Artemis is in the way.
See the person. Oh,
And I'm gonna
I'm
toss
trying.
this to
You want to
you.
go up on that hill for high ground?
they're rezzing.
Yeah, we can go to the hill. First person to grab.
Car coming on me.
Yep. Blown up.
They blew up.
Where are they though?
Someone's over here. On this rock.
See him.
$59. They're over here.
This one. Careful, Rick. You got people coming to you. We also got people coming to us. Fuck. Oh, man.
No.
Oh, dude.
Damn.
I ran out.
Good try. Good try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good try.
You got it done.
Hey, yeah,
yeah,
we
dub.
We got a dub. We take those.
Hey, yo, I got Wastelander Magneto.
Oh, nice.
Thickums.
You call him Thickums?
Mm-hmm.
You got fisted, Shin? It happens to the best of us. Bula got fisted the last match.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see who I'm going to raid. Yo, GG's, man. Buy everything from the Battle Pass, bro.
Ray, keep it down.
Oh, I got a new emoticon? What the fuck?
Hey, yo, a new one?
Yeah. Just from doing the creator thing.
Hey, look!
That's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's Squidward.
Beautiful.
Wow, that's
Blue
crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Ray.
Oh, that's a
You look like that
sick
Eagle Muppet.
rap.
I forgot his name.
I don't have it. We got him.
Nah. Fucking Honey just called me fucking Squidward, bro. No, that's a new fucking pain.
Condry Squidward?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You didn't see?
no. My phone's charging. It's not near me.
Oh, damn.
Where's my new emoticon? Oh, it's this one.
Sam the
Eating
Eagle is
cereal.
his name, Keck.
I'm mad you went searching for fucking Muppet names, bro. That is crazy. Yo, Funky, have you seen how they freaking, you see how they're doing me in the general chat right now, in the daily chatter? You see what they're doing to me there, Funky? In the Discord? Funky was also tagged. Okay, bye. Wow, Jax.
Wait, Jax came out.
I thought you fucking left like 10 minutes ago, Jax.
just realized I need to do this. Jack's. That's great.
I don't know who to raid, man.
Mm,
You know what? I'm gonna raid my new teammate.
his name is Cloaca Prime.
Wait, what?
One of my friends changed their Discord name to Cloaca Prime.
That's scary. And also, we got the right amount of fucking people for the raid. Let's go.
Mm,
Thank you, Ray. This is my new teammate from Team Obscura. His name is Nintendo. He actually came in yesterday. He raided us. He's playing Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
oh, love that game.
So I know some of y'all gonna enjoy it.
Love that game.
Please don't come on him, okay? We only do that here. But thank you guys. Candy, Carly, Ecstasy, thank you for the games earlier, and then Shin.
The notes are wild, Brody. Not gonna hold you.
You know what, Funky? That's Mbula, Shin, and Flash. Thank you for the games. This is crazy.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I love you guys. Check it on your friends, especially the
We
strong
got 'em.
ones. Most importantly, mind your business when you fucking see my notes. I love you guys. This is To The Room.